Good evening and welcome to Radio Cayman's Sports Extra. I'm your host, Dionne Anglin, and tonight we have a nice show for you tonight. We have, for the first half of our show, we'll be chatting with the president of the Cayman Islands Aquatic Sports Association, formerly known as the Amateur Swimming Association, CIASA, short term, right? So we'll be chatting about the new aquatic center that's going to be here soon. We're going to talk about the Carifta 2023 games that took place in Curacao, and of course, everything swimming that we could think about. Open water, artistic swimming, your views and all of that. So we are here now with Mr. Broadbelt, Stephen Broadbelt. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. I believe this is your first time on the show with me?
On this show with you, yes.
Yeah. I know you've been here before. How are things? All is well?
Very well. Thank you very much, yeah.
Awesome. In the second segment, we'll hear from Coach Ralph Harvey and his sailors from the Cayman Islands Sailing Club. And they recently competed in the Miami Sailing Week. All right, Miami Sailing Classic or the Miami Sailing Week in early April. So we'll hear all about that competition and how well they did there in Miami. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Sports Extra in a minute.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Britke. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The Department of Agriculture would like to inform the public that animal-related import-export services contact hours have changed. For all animal-related travel inquiries, permit application process, and in-person visitations, visit doa.gov.ky or their Facebook or Instagram page at Agriculture Cayman to view the new hours. Call 947-3090 for more information.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
When you have a sports or fitness-related injury, trust the expertise of the HSA Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic to get you back in the game. Our internationally trained and certified physicians specialize in sports traumatology, sports medicine, pain management, and orthopedic surgery. For treatment of common injuries such as tendonitis, arthritis, tennis elbow, rotator cuff, or knee tears, schedule a consultation with the Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic at Smith Road Medical Center by calling 949-8600 or visit hsa.ky for more information.
Shaken yet standing firm.
I was not built to break.
This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
All right, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. We have CIASA President, Mr. Stephen Broadbelt, in the studio with us, for those of you just tuning in. And today we're going to talk a little bit about on everything swimming here in the Cayman Islands. I know you've heard the news recently where our Carifta swimmers brought home 66 medals, placing second in this year's Carifta Games. Fantastic news. It was the best, I think, history. We made history with 66 medals. Am I correct?
Absolutely. It was our biggest team and our most medals. So, yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Top of the top all the way.
Oh, amazing. Let's talk about, how fantastic it all was. And, of course, what are your thoughts on our overall finish? And, of course, the performance of our athletes in all three disciplines. We had artistic swimming, we had open water, and, of course, pool swimming.
Yeah, I mean, the real highlight was being able to take all three disciplines, all three individual teams for open water, pool swimming, and artistic together at the same time and all compete, at the same games. Artistic won overall in their field, and same for open water with gold and silver in the men's and bronze in the girls.
Yes.
So we couldn't be happier. And then a huge medal haul, second in the medal table and the points table for the pool swimming, only to be outdone by Bahamas, a slightly bigger team than ours.
Of course, right? Yeah. And how many athletes did we take?
51.
51
two withdraw at last minute just due to the illness or issues.
How much? I don't want to use the word trouble, but carrying all those athletes plus the coaches, what was that like? Because you went with them as well.
Yeah, it's a tremendous amount of planning and coordination and work that goes into it from months beforehand, and from the qualification process. And with artistic, they have their trials, and we have different qualifications for pool and open water. So just a very detailed process that takes place. Really starts from December, all the way through as March the 6th really was our kind of cutoff. And so it's an immense amount of work that is very reliant on volunteers,
of course,
and our sponsors.
Awesome. I know, like we mentioned, 66 medals, but there were quite a few athletes that did exceptionally well. Your daughter was one of them. I know you don't like to toot your own horn, but she was fantastic. And for those of you who did not know, Sierra Broadbelt brought home, the top of the individual medal table with gold. So that's more than any other swimmer, male or female, for all Carifta 2023. Right, 13 to 14 female high point champion with 78 points, more than all age groups overall. Top female individual gold medal in the history of the Cayman Islands. That's amazing. Where did she get this talent from? You've got to share.
She just works really hard. She's very determined, and she trains with a good group of people, and her coaches, and just the infrastructure that's in place here to support all of our swimmers is the key to our success. You look, it's not just any one swimmer or Sierra. We have a very broad team of highly capable and accomplished athletes that you wouldn't expect from a small island of our size and our population.
And I think that's amazing because, like you said, Bahamas, they were really huge. But we were the second team. And there were countries like Jamaica, right?
Yeah,
there was Trinidad and Tobago. And they had big fields as well.
Yeah, normally you look at the population, it's you put it's like a funnel, they put in 1,000 swimmers and you'll get 10 really good ones that come out the other end. And we don't have 100,000 swimmers to put in the beginning. So countries like Jamaica or Trinidad and Tobago, significantly bigger populations that we have in Cayman, and same for Bahamas and some other countries as well. So we certainly, for our population, we outscore, outpace anybody in the region.
Well, I don't want to stray away from the question I asked about Sierra. Your daughter is amazing. This is not the first time we've heard of her accomplishments as well. We've read about her throughout our sports news, and the last Carifta game she cleaned up as well. Her, along with Jillian Crooks, has done well. Quite a few other athletes have left their mark at this year's Carifta Games. Talk to us a little bit about the coaching staff that you have and how much work that they put into these athletes day in, day out.
I mean, they're doing 15 hours of training a week, minimum, and that's 5:15 a.m. starts 3 times a week.
Right.
And some nights training as late as 9 p.m. at night. So balancing your training,
schoolwork,
and your schoolwork, and also traveling for meets as well, and fitting all that in and having some time left for your friends and family is the challenge that all swimmers face.
What was your favorite performance at the games? And I asked because I asked the minister the same question. He said the relays. What were your favorite? Whether it could be pool or open water or artistic.
Yeah, the 5K for open water is always enjoyable for me.
Yeah,
and I enjoy seeing how they set up the event, the site that they located it, and how they ran it. So from an operational side, I enjoyed that the most, just to see how they did it. For an individual race, I don't know, it's hard to. There is a lot.
Yeah, there was.
The one that was the most, the that I cheered probably the loudest.
Was memorable?
With the girls 15 to 17 200 fly.
Okay.
Which was a gold medal for Tegan Nash. That was probably one of my favorite races.
Awesome. Yeah.
She just came from the back, and it was exciting to watch from a spectator's point of view. I thought that was the most kind of.
Those are always the
yeah,
best.
it's like a underdog and then takes gold. So it's a good story, and that was a fun race to watch.
And to think we're collecting all these medals with just a 25-meter pool.
Yes.
Yeah. That's and most of these athletes who are competing at these tournaments from different countries are competing in 50-meter pools.
That's correct. I mean, again, from Bahamas, Jamaica, Trinidad, they all have 50-meter pools.
What will we be doing if we had a 50-meter pool?
We'd be coming first overall. Is what
I tell you, I think so
opinion.
too.
Yeah. And we'd have more lane space, so that just goes into some of the other. It's not just the lack of a 50-meter pool; it's also the lack of lane space,
right?
As well. And we're turning away swimmers. We're not able to grow the sport any further than we can right now until we build, have this new aquatic center.
Let's jump right into that. The new aquatic center. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So for many years we've been trying to build the new aquatic center, and then external things happen like Hurricane Ivan and all the financial crisis in 08, and then COVID, and so we're really in a position now, the best position we've been in. Huge support from the Minister Burney, and the whole government. It seems like everything's pointing in the right direction.
Awesome.
And everyone's behind us 100%. So all the other sporting associations have been very supportive to us as well. So it feels like this is the time. The time is right now. And the plan is to build this new aquatic center within the boundaries of the existing Trim and Bond Sports Complex site, and it's to include a 50-meter pool, competition pool, so we're able to host events like Carifta and other championship swimming events in the region, and a new 25-meter pool as well.
Okay, so am I wrong? You correct me if I'm wrong. Did I hear you? That's 3 pools you mentioned: a 50-meter competition pool and.
No, there's 2. So the 50-meter pool is the competition.
It will be the
pool.
competition. Okay, I thought it was something different.
And then the 25-meter pool will be a new Lions pool.
Okay.
So it will retain the name of the Lions pool, but the existing Lion pool will be decommissioned and turned into something else. But the new Lions pool will actually be significantly. That's 6 lanes. This will be 10 lanes. Okay. So it will the same length but much wider, more capacity for Learn to Swim. And then the competition pool it's too deep for beginner Learn to Swim. It's 3 meters deep or 10 feet deep across the whole length of the pool and width of the pool. So once they've got past the basic Learn to Swim elements, then they will be able to go into the bigger pool. But the competition pool will benefit all disciplines. Artistic swimming in particular,
especially them,
they've really hit a wall now. Although they make amazing use of the resources they have, just the simple fact is their feet touch the bottom.
Yes.
Once they get past a certain age or a certain height,
right?
When they're practicing, they're going to touch bottom, and then they're not able to practice all that.
It hinders them for when they have to go to international competition as well.
And we get by right now, but it is a significant problem with them competing to go up to the next level. It's going to be difficult without a pool that's deep enough. The new aquatic center will accommodate all of that, and that particular discipline within swimming is, I would say, the fastest growing.
Yeah, it really is. Coach Alyssa is doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, again, it's just we'd love to expand these programs more, and the new facility will do that and bring it into, ideally we'd like to see all the different parts of swimming within the PE curriculum.
Right.
And starting with basic Learn to Swim, but beyond that if possible as well.
So what's happening right now? All the schools do take part, though.
Yeah.
Right?
They do have 6 weeks a year.
Okay. Awesome. But is the waiting list still very long?
Yeah, the one of the core problems with Learn to Swim
Yeah.
on the island, this is not a criticism of the current programs, they just don't start soon enough.
Okay.
That's all. They start about 3 years too late,
Gotcha.
in my opinion, and other people within swimming. So what they do is great, and I love what they do. My own daughter went through the government Learn to Swim program,
Right.
and it just needs to start earlier.
At like what age are you looking at?
They should be starting, 6 to 7 years old.
Don't they?
And
They don't start at
on a more, comprehensive program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, 6. Yeah. I mean, 5 is probably a little bit young.
Is it?
It's not too young to actually learn to swim.
No,
Most people will
right,
start too young
right.
from as they can't even walk and they're learning to swim. So there's never too young to
Which
learn
is
to
what
swim.
I thought you were going to say in terms of them starting earlier. Maybe they should start them at a year old. Maybe, and that might help the crowd, lessen the crowd that's coming in at age 6 and 7.
The younger you go, the ratios of instructor to swimmer
Yeah.
are significantly different. So,
Right. True, very true.
And what the Flowers Group and their sponsors with their Swim Free program, bringing the pool to the school,
Right.
is going to be a great feeder program for expanded Learn to Swim programs elsewhere, because that's in quite a confined area that will just teach them the kind of life
Right.
saving skills of, if I fall in the pool, I can swim 10 feet and climb out. And then from there, you would want to see it expand. So,
Of course.
it's never too young to start learning to swim. It's just from a school program, when they're doing pre-K and kindergarten, that would probably be a little ambitious to get going right from the...
Right.
And then as soon as after that is feasible, that's what we'd like to see. But right now it's a little bit later than that,
Yes.
and that would change swimming in general. And what we see from a competitive standpoint, people will get interested in other sports
Right.
first, and then it's kind of too late. The people that they're going to be competing against have already been swimming for 2 or 3 years, so it's not too late. It's harder to catch up.
It's much harder to catch up.
Yeah.
I'm taking you back to when you said earlier we currently have 6 lanes now at Lions.
Yeah.
Is the same thing at Kimana Bay?
They have 8 lanes.
They have 8.
Yeah.
And the allotted amount that you should have in the 50-meter pool is how much?
So there would be. So right now, we would be more than doubling our lane space with that, because
Okay, so that
the 25-meter pool will go from 6 to 10.
Mhm.
So that's another 4 lanes right there,
Okay.
additional to what we have there.
Mhm.
And then the 50-meter pool will have what's called a bulkhead in it, which means you can split it in half. So essentially, that's 20 more lanes at 25 meters from learning to swim. So that would be an extra 24 lanes versus 6 that we have now.
It's amazing. That's good. I can't wait.
Yeah. So this is based on a population of. So we're not building this for the population as it stands right now.
Right.
It's for the. We're basing it on 100,000 population.
Okay.
Whether you like that number or not, we're trying to. We don't want to finish it and then say, oh, it's not big enough.
Right.
This will give us the capacity for at least 100,000 population, and but then it won't be the last pool that ever gets built. There will be a need for more pools out in the maybe in the Boddentown Savannah area, or certainly up in West Bay, as to service those schools up there, and
Right.
rather than driving everything into Walker's Road area.
Right. Agreed.
The site at Truman Bodden makes the most sense, as that's where the concentration of the high schools currently are, and where most of the swimmers, it has the highest kind of catchment area right now.
Right.
But as time goes by, a master plan needs to include pools in other locations.
Okay. And talk to me a little bit about a little bit more about the specs of the aquatic center. So in terms of you said it's going to be. I'm trying to imagine it being built around the Lions pool. Is it going to be just there, or you guys are going to extend it to the car park?
So it's next to it.
It's going to be next to it.
Yeah, in that general area there.
Okay.
We we want to be able to keep the Lions Pool, the current Lions Pool, fully operational throughout the whole construction process, because otherwise the swimmers
will be on a halt.
There is the Seaback pool, which is pretty fully subscribed right now, and then there is the pool at Clifton Hunter, which is the location is not ideal for a significant portion of the for the people that the Lions Pool services. Government has through the Ministry of Sports now made arrangements for swimming to start happening at the Clifton Hunter pool outside of the school use.
Right.
So I'm sure the students have access to it there, but now that's going to be opened up to other people and swimming programs after school.
Right.
So that's new news. So we're very excited about that. Hasn't commenced yet, but plans. Hopefully we'll have that started before the new school term in September, or maybe sooner than that.
And the aquatic center, will that be strictly for national purposes only? No.
What started out as us trying to solve a need for athletes has really turned into more of a community program. And what we've seen, not just from Learn to Swim, but from the needs of our seniors or those with mobility or physiotherapy needs, that the benefits of aquatherapy, especially with seniors, and the significant improvement it has to their quality of life with minimal treatments in the pool is something that I've seen firsthand, and something it was almost a miracle to see some of the improvements. So some of these things have come out as we've been developing the program, and it's critical for us to have a pool that serves the whole community.
Right.
Because right now you can't just show up at a pool, pay your couple of dollars and go and swim some laps. There isn't, you can make arrangements with various clubs and get a pass and this and that, but it's not. There's a few steps involved.
Right.
You can't, either as a tourist or just someone you want to go for a swim before you go to work. It's not available to the broader public.
Got you.
If you're a swimmer or a master swimmer and you want to, you can find a way to get in a pool. Or you may have a pool at the place where you live. But from the broader community, they really don't have access to swimming like they should in a safe, controlled environment with lifeguards and in a nice environment that they will enjoy. So that's key, that it stays open for the whole community.
Right.
You'll also find that the athletic side of it, the sporting side of it, is very much early in the morning before school and after school.
Or very late in the evening, yes.
And then during school hours, during school terms, there's lots of opportunity there for other programs, whether it's Learn to Swim for the younger ones that are not at school yet, or for anyone in the community. And then weekends, if there's a big competition on, then that would that's not going to be every weekend. That would be a focus for those particular events, like our national championships, or if there's Carifta, then the other pools around the island would have to be utilized. Yeah.
Okay, and I don't want to stay on this too long because we have so much more to talk about, but how much of a difference do you believe that this addition will make to our athletes' progress? So we're already accomplishing so much with 66 medals for Carifta Games. Having a 50-meter pool, what do you think you'll see more of with your athletes?
I think the key thing from a competitive standpoint, we'll see more people getting involved in swimming.
Yeah.
And so the more people coming into swimming means more higher level athletes coming out the other side. And we've just started seeing huge progress with the John Gray swim club,
right.
and they're progressing very, very, very well. And we'd like to see more of that with Clifton Hunter developing their own club and their own team as well. So we'd like to see more of a competitive element coming out from the government schools. I know the talent's in there. I see it at track and field.
Yeah, of course.
And so there's a lot of incredible athletes in Cayman,
yes.
And Jordan Crooks is not a one-off.
Yeah.
We have a lot of good talent, and athletes with the right mindset and with the right kind of attitude and hunger to win.
Yeah.
This is there's a lot of great things yet to come.
You definitely, if you're practicing at 5 o'clock in the morning, there's a lot of hunger, and dedication. I know there was once upon a time a talk of adding another discipline, water polo. How's that coming along?
That's something that we can definitely do. Mm-hmm. The new aquatic center is designed to accommodate that.
Okay.
And it's a fun sport. Though we've done some kind of demo days with that, and there's been a residence kind of water polo club that's just kind of a little casual fun that people can, swimmers. You see a lot of maybe not more master swimmers, so 25 and over, that used to swim competitively and then looking for something fun and then still competitive to do. So we do have the equipment, the goals, and the hats and the balls. We have equipment on island,
right.
And we do some demo kind of exhibition stuff with it. And at Carifta, they did it as an exhibition sport. They did beach polo because
nice.
One of the problems in the Caribbean is having facilities to play polo.
Right.
And there are some good teams in other countries, just a few. There's not a lot of teams, so there's not a wide field. Yeah. Barbados has a good team, and they've tried to get Caribbean countries to meet in Florida to have a championship there, like a Carifta water polo, and so there's definitely some effort going on to see that develop further.
Do we have anyone here that's interested in playing the sport?
We have two of our coaches have a background in water polo and have played water polo, so we do have expertise on island, and we just need the facility. The sea pool at Sunset House has been used a few times, and that's a reasonable size for it. But the new facility will be able to host that, and that's certainly something that we'll try.
Okay, what prompted the new change in Siasa, the name change? So it went from amateur swimming to now, what is it?
Aquatic sports.
Aquatic sports, yeah.
To cover all of the disciplines, really.
Okay.
So the governing body, what used to be called FINA, they recently changed their name to World Aquatics, right. And it was to be more inclusive of all the disciplines, and because swimming is considered by some just a pool. Exactly. Aquatic sports includes diving,
yes,
polo,
something that we can get involved with once we get to the big
open water,
bigger pool,
and so aquatic sports is a more broader definition of the sports as a whole. That's all.
That I would love to see, diving.
Yes.
From the deck, from the board.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it because I'm not proficient in that area. But in swimming, when you go to the Olympics and you see the diving in the water, I think that's amazing. I would love to see some of our athletes doing something like that. Well, is that something that we can look into now when we get the new aquatic center?
So we're not designing for that
okay.
in this phase.
It has to be bigger and deeper.
Yeah, the depth is critical, and there is a lot of dry land facilities that need to go with it. So you need a whole gymnasium. So everything's practiced with trampolines and pulleys beforehand, and so once you have that, you need the same amount of space for dry land training as you do for the diving pool.
Gotcha.
And it's typically based on population. Diving has the lowest participation out of all the disciplines.
Right. Okay.
So we struggle to find too many. However, that said, I've just been made aware last week that we have a Caymanian girl that's currently in Ireland training at the 1 meter and 3 meter springboard. Young lady from Northside that's and she's currently working in Ireland, but she's training.
That's nice. Do you know her name?
Tawny Tomlinson.
Okay.
She's married now, so I don't know her married name.
Okay.
But
maiden name is Tomlinson.
Yeah, from Northside, awesome. And she's training to be in diving and the springboard events.
Awesome.
And she's doing pretty well in that, and she's made herself known and put herself forward to the Olympic Committee, and
awesome.
And she said her goal is to qualify and compete at the Commonwealth Games in 2026.
Look at that.
So diving is all of a sudden on the horizon and something we need to take a look at closer.
Awesome. Well, I know we're at that time now. The sailors are in. Before we go, though, can you tell us what's next on the agenda for swimming?
We've got a busy summer. We've got 4 meets coming up. Some of the games events, the CAC Games in El Salvador is in the end of June and early July, and that has pool and open water. And then following that, we've got Island Games in Guernsey, just off the UK. Again, that's a big team with not just swimming, but over 100 athletes, only 12 of which are swimmers. And then there's World Championships in Japan. A small team going there, including Jordan Crooks. That's a long course World Championship, where in December when he won the gold, that was short course World Championship. Right. And then in August, going to wrap up the season kind of in September through August, the last meet there of this season will be Commonwealth Youth Games in Trinidad and Tobago on 4th of August. And I think we've got about 7 or 8 swimmers competing in that event, and that's for swimming and artistic swimming. There is a team, they're planning an event, and that's just not confirmed as of today, but that'll be announced pretty soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you for coming by and sharing all this knowledge and wisdom with us about swimming.
Anytime. 30 minutes isn't enough.
I know, right? I know that totally.
Sure, I missed stuff. But, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for coming. And we're going to have sailing up next. And Coach Raf and his sailors are here. And we're going to hear all about their competition that took place early April. Stay tuned with more Sports Extra in a minute.
The Hawkwill Theatre will come alive as Cayman National Dance Company presents the 35th season of dance. Its Emerald Celebration, an extravaganza of repertoire pieces, new creations, and remastered dances. Dance should be shared with all who live and breathe, so you do not want to miss the 35th season of dance at the Hawkwill Theatre. Friday, May 19th, 6:30 p.m. for the gala. Cost is $75. Saturday, May 20th, 11 a.m. matinee, $10. Saturday, May 20th, 7 p.m. and Sunday, May 21st, 5 p.m. $35 for adults and $15 CI for children under 15. Tickets are available at Radiance Dance Studio, Audiophile Cayman, and Winner Circle Sports, or by calling 926-1826. Sponsored by Cayman National, CNCF, ARC Directors, Water Authority, CUC, Brit-K, and Radio Cayman.
Ensuring your walls, ceilings, and floors are properly sealed against air leaks is an important step in lowering your monthly energy bills. Even small gaps around windows, under doors, or around lighting and plumbing fixtures can add up to as much air loss as having an open window.
The do-it-yourself energy audits on energy.gov.ky make it easy to find ways to save energy and money in your home or business.
Complete an energy audit of your home or business before 31st of May 2023 to be entered into a prize giveaway. Prizes include a $5,000 gift certificate to Home Gas and gift certificates to Cooling Pros, Foam Pros, Costyless, and Foster's.
To learn more, visit energy.gov.ky today and follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram.
Attention Georgetown residents. The Department of Environmental Health Georgetown Bulk Waste Collection will take place between May 8th to the 13th. This bulk waste collection will replace the traditional year-end collection. Household appliances, furniture, and other items too large to be handled by the weekly DEH collection crews should be placed by the roadside where it is easily accessible to DEH collection crews. Metals and vegetation should also be separated from other bulk items. Do not obstruct the roadway or storm drains or place tires, construction and demolition waste, hazardous materials or electronics. For more information on the Georgetown Bulk Waste Collection from May 8th to the 13th, please contact DEH's Solid Waste Management Section at 949-6696.
If you're a parent, you know that providing your child with a quality early education can be expensive. However, the Ministry of Education offers funding through the Early Childhood Assistance Program to help Caymanian children attend an early childhood center. This year, the Ministry has introduced a new online portal, moeapplications.gov.ky. to make the application process more convenient. Visit the website now to learn more or get started.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Alrighty, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra, and we have members of the Cayman Islands Sailing Club in the studio with us. We have Mr. or Coach Ralph Harvey.
Yes.
All right, I know who you are. I've had you on here before, but these two, however, to my left, are unfamiliar to me by face. So, because they're always in the water, right? So, introduce yourselves.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Lyndon Pickering. I am a Laser 4.7 sailor.
And I'm Bronwyn Bray, and I'm an Optimist sailor.
Awesome. So you guys are going to share all what that means to me and for those who may not understand as well on the outside. So you guys recently took part in the Miami Sailing Classic?
Miami Sailing Week.
Miami Sailing Week.
Yes.
Okay. Classic sounds better. But okay, yeah. Okay, so the Cayman Islands had 14 sailors who attended this event, right? 8 in the, is it ILCA or ILCA? How do you pronounce that?
ILCA.
ILCA.
Which stands for the International Laser Class Association.
Awesome. I like that. Right, so 4, that was 4 of you that took part.
For the ILCA, there's actually 3 classes.
Okay.
There's the ILCA 4, ILCA 6, and ILCA
right.
7. So the ILCA 7 and 6 are the Olympic class, and this is like a feeder for the 2 other boats.
Okay.
So the 6, you have the females competing at the Olympic class, and the males competing in the 7.
All right, awesome. So you competed in?
The ILCA 4.
ILCA 4. All right, and you said Optimist?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So let's talk about that. How was the competition for you all?
The competition was very different to what we have in Cayman. The fleet differs as we have so little ILCA sailors in Cayman. So it was a great experience to feel the contrast in between like the racing fleets.
Well, first of all, explain to us what is the difference between ILCA and Optimist.
Well, ILCA is a different boat.
Okay.
I think it is faster, and the Optimist is a bit slower and has a smaller sail.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And the boats were smaller in this? Were you guys trained in smaller boats here, smaller fleets here?
No, it's all the boats that we train in is exactly the same.
Exactly
what we
the same. Okay, awesome.
So it's more along the lines for the reason. One of the reasons why we wanted to go is here in training locally, we're always trying to get the kids into racing.
Yes.
For them, they're like, well, why do we need to race? Why do we need to race? I'm like, well, when we go overseas, there's actually kids just like yourself who are competing day in, day out. They're juggling their schoolwork, they're juggling studying, they're juggling other sports. So that's one of the reasons why we wanted to go, and for them it was a eye-opener.
Okay.
Was it amazing.
Was it their first time?
Yeah.
Competing international, yes.
Both of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Both of you. Awesome. What was that like?
It was an amazing experience to feel like the different levels that there were, because we have some amazing sailors here on island like Jasper and Nelson.
Right.
And I believe there was the America's first sailor, I think it was.
Yeah, we had a few top Americans who were there. But
yeah, it was an amazing experience to feel the different levels of sailing there.
Okay. And Bronwyn?
It was amazing. I loved it so much. I loved how we could meet new people there, and everyone has their own different levels and strengths in sailing, and we could also learn from each other of how we sail.
Just love that name, Bronwyn. It's beautiful. So one question I wanted to ask you guys is about the conditions, right? Some in some days were different than the others. Some was a little more challenging. How do you all adjust to that?
So we all have basics of sailing.
Okay.
Different rules that you have to follow of how to sail. And some people benefit or have strengths in certain types of wind, and you just have to work harder if you maybe aren't better sailing in one type of wind, like light wind, and you just got to push through and persevere and think in yourself that you can do it and believe in yourself.
And what about you, Lyndon?
Yes. So for me, I am a better strong wind sailor.
Okay.
So the first day, it was extreme. It was like very light winds. And it was also, there's a lot of chop on the water, so lots of waves. And then the second day, it was heavier, so I did better as I am on the higher like scale of one of the weight scale for the Ilka fours.
Okay. Okay, so the more rough the condition is, the better for you? Is that what you're saying?
The higher the wind, yeah.
The higher the wind. Okay, that's interesting. How exactly is sailing scored or judged?
It's like a low point scoring system. So it's similar to golf, if you were to use that analogy.
Okay.
So if you first in a race, you're scored as 1, you get 1 point for that.
Okay.
And at the end, so depending on how many races, so there's an assigned amount of races. So for instance, for that event, for the Ilka class, I think there was 8. I was coaching in the Optimist. So we were just trying to get as many races in because of the conditions. So basically, for the Ilka class, it would have been 7, and at the end of the 7 races, you're allowed 1 drop race.
Okay.
So in theory, you can drop your worst race. So you'd count 6, and the person or sailor with the lowest scores would be the winner.
Okay. And how did you all do?
I came...
It's the first thing I should have asked. Sorry.
So I came 13th out of my fleet.
Okay.
I came 27th out of my fleet.
Okay, awesome. But it was a good experience for you guys, you would say?
Yes.
Yeah, most definitely. And how long does a race usually last?
It varies. So for the Ilka class, I think internationally they're pushing for 45 to 50 minutes. The event that they were at, it varied. So you had races in the 30 to 40. The first race they had, it ran over an hour. So because the wind was so light and the size of the course, I'm trying to get everyone around. So again, that was a new experience for them. Here in Ireland, when we're training with our local races, we're trying to get it as close as we can to international standard.
Okay.
So yeah, for the Optimist race, it's pretty much the same. So you're looking at more or less like 45 to 55 minutes.
Okay. How many different classes? You mentioned the Ilka and, of course, the Optimist, but how many different classes are there in sailing, and which ones exactly do we take part in?
The first question, we need more time to so
really?
many different
Okay,
classes.
so it's a lot. Okay.
Yeah. So the Olympic class, you're looking at 10.
Okay.
In terms of what we're training in here, we're looking at about 7 classes. But in terms of when we go overseas to compete, we're primarily it's the Optimist class and the laser.
What are the 7 classes that we do here?
So we do Opti, we do lasers, we've got the the Hartleys, we have J22s. J22s, we've got Hobie Cats. Right, so there's a fair few classes that we do compete in here. And then you also have the bigger boats where it's a multi class where everyone goes in and you have a scoring system after.
Okay. So why when we go compete internationally do we only take part in those 2?
Has a lot to do with what we can. One, it's the cost associated with boats.
Okay.
So when kids come into the programs, like for instance our government school program, we're primarily using the Pico class. But a Pico class is not something that they train in overseas. Right. We get the kids in and we introduce them to the sport, into the Pico, and then we get them into like the Optimist, which is ages from between 8 to 15, where you age out.
Okay.
And from that, you then go into a laser, the Ilka 4. Now, other programs around the world you'd have so many other different classes, but in terms of what we do here, and I know for speaking on behalf of the Cayman Islands Sailing Club, we have the budget to work on just those classes at the minute. We'd love to see it grow, just to make it more accessible. When it's accessible in terms of when you've got sailors coming in, like for instance, I know for the Optimist class, you want to be the optimum weight is sort of like 105 pounds.
Right.
Now, if you've got a child who's a bit on the heavier side of that, they might not fare well in the Optimist class when it comes to racing. So Lyndon was alluding to earlier, the reason for him liking certain conditions over another, because if you're heavier, you're stronger, then you'd favor more the windier conditions.
Right.
And whereas in the lighter side of it, if you're lighter and you can sail, then you tend to do better that way.
Does every sailor own its own boat?
Ideally, we'd like to get everyone to that standard.
Okay.
But like I said, it's quite costly as well. So in terms of what we provide as a club, that is not a restriction as you're coming in. All the boats are provided for you. Now, it doesn't mean you're getting top class boats.
Okay.
Well, as you get better, and if you've got the means to do it, then you can then buy your boat. And so.
Can you mind me asking how much is a boat?
Oh,
of course, it depends.
For an Optimist, it depends. You can there's a lot of secondhand boats you can own for yourself and then prep it up. But a brand new winner, you're looking at about $7,000, $6,000 to $7,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and the Ilka
Yeah.
class, which is the Olympic class, you're looking pretty much about 8,000 to 9,000 as well.
Do any of you own your own boats?
No.
Not yet. Say it, not yet.
No,
Not yet.
Yeah.
But you can get a lot of second-hand boats for a lot
Yeah.
cheaper as well. And I do it so that let the parents know that you don't need to go buy a brand new boat for a sailor
Right.
who's just getting into it. See how much they're getting it. See how much they're really into it. And as they progress and they're willing to commit, then I would definitely advise them to buy their own.
When you guys are in like off season, how do you practice?
Off season.
Yeah. There's no off
we don't-
season. Oh, yeah. Okay, explain. Explain that for me.
I wouldn't say there's no. I mean, like in Canada and stuff like that, you don't sail during the winter months. But but they do tend to go to Florida or the warmer climates to train.
Right.
Here we've got ideal conditions,
Yes.
12 months a year, so there's no off seasons per se.
So you guys sail all through the year, like you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a lot of work, man. It's
Yeah.
it's a lot of work in terms of like the time that's actually spent and the
Yes.
gains. There's no, you can't really equivocate and say, oh, I'm gonna train 5 days a week. It means that it's gonna make me a better sailor, because everyone is doing exactly the same. So all the gains that you get is sort of marginal. So you're working extremely hard. So
Okay.
when a sailor goes overseas, and like for instance the likes of Jasper, who came second in the Ilka class, it's a lot of hard work that goes into it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's amazing. So sorry, there's no off
that's
season.
That's amazing.
I don't mean to sound off-putting for anyone that's wanting to come into the sport.
No, it's very fun.
No, it's fun.
But it's a lot of fun.
Listen. My nephew sailed, Micah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that until I saw him on a boat. I had this. Usually I see him with a ball in his hand, so it was weird seeing him on a boat, and I had all these questions for him because it's an intriguing sport.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, and it's so nice to have you guys on the show to explain this to me, and not just me, many who may not know about it as well and understand the sport as well. You know what I mean? So I'm glad you expressed that there's no off season. I think that's great. You're in the water. Who cares?
Yeah. And after sailing, there's dog jumping, which goes on for hours.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, nice. Coach, you must invite me out there more.
Well, it's an open invitation. So
Yes, but you have to let me know when it's going on so I can come out. I would love to see the athletes in
So
action.
would be cool. So two of our big events is like we've got the school championships, which takes place in the first Friday in December.
Okay.
And then we also have the youth champs, which is normally around the second weekend, which follows the youth champs. So that's a really, really cool event that you should invite.
Definitely, and you have to write me and remind me.
Yes, I will.
Please, I have so much different sports on my plate that I need that special reminder. And let's go back to the competition, and you all just talking to me about the different countries that took part and the competition that you faced. How was it?
Well, the different competition, there was lots of different people from different nationalities competing. They varied in skill, but I think most of my fleet was from America, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every different place that competed, normally the sailors are stronger in some type of sailing.
Okay.
Conditions.
Different conditions.
Yeah. That's okay. No.
But I remember seeing and talking to a girl from Peru who was sailing, and it was great to hear how she sailed and how her practices sounded, and they sound awesome, and it's cool to meet different people from different places in a sport that we all love together.
And speaking of that, what are practices like for you all?
So we get to the sailing club and we have our morning briefing.
Okay.
Or before sailing briefing. And then we all rig our boats and we all launch together. And then we work on whatever we're working on that day. And then we come back, we wash our boats, which is very important, de-rig. And then we have our after sailing briefing, talking about what we learned that day, maybe what we need to work on. Coach Ross is very good at that, helping you of what you personally need to work on to get better and excel.
Okay. So after this competition, you said it was your first. Would you say you're going to give it a shot again and compete again internationally? You liked it that much?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, hopefully.
What was your favorite moment, the most memorable moment of this journey, this trip?
Probably crossing the finish line on my last race, which I did the best in.
Okay.
I didn't realize the place that I took until I got back on land, because many of the boats got OCS, which means on-course side, which means they were disqualified for that race.
Thank you for telling me that, yes.
Yeah. So I ended up coming second on the last race. So when I found out I did come second, it was a moment for me.
Okay.
My favorite part was seeing myself get better through my scores.
Okay.
Because you can see what you placed. And after we finished sailing, I looked at the scoreboard and I saw my places go up throughout all my races. And it made me very happy seeing how I progress.
He's provoking his dealer. He's like, all right. Okay. So what's next? I know I can babble on with so many questions, but I know you.
Again, locally we've got our Storm Chaser coming up.
Okay.
Just very welcome the season that we don't talk about.
Okay.
So that's our Storm Chaser Regatta, which is the first weekend in June.
All right.
After that, we've got some events. We've got a number of different events. So the major ones, we've got the 4.7. I keep saying 4.7, which is the former name. It's the ILCA 4 World Championship, which is going to be in Greece.
Okay.
And
nice.
we've got 3 sailors going there. So we've got Ali Capasso, we've got Jasper Nielsen, and we've got Kira Murphy, who will be doing that.
Jasper.
Yeah, Jasper Nielsen.
Plays other sports as well.
No. I think sailing is
volleyball.
No.
Okay.
Sailing is his thing. He's obsessed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this other Jasper is obsessed with volleyball too. So it's a Jasper thing.
So we've got that. We've also got the CAC Games coming up, which is going to be in El Salvador.
Do you all do island games?
Yes, we've also got
nice.
2 sailors going to island games. We've got Ava Hyder and Will Jackson.
Awesome.
Who are doing that. We've also got the World Champs, which is the first Olympic qualifier.
Right.
We've got 2 sailors going to that. I think that's it for now.
That's awesome. All those names you called, I'm very familiar with.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear these new names as well.
Yeah.
So it's good that you have new athletes that are competing internationally and getting that exposure because that's what they need.
Yeah, again, that's one of the biggest things we have here in terms, like for instance, our Optimist program the last couple of weekends, we now have 12, which is quite a big deal for us.
Okay.
We normally used to just have 6 or so. So training and then trying to find drills to simulate what a 62 boat fleet looks like, a start line, because it's quite a big thing. It could be quite daunting for sailors. So for instance, if you look prior to us going up in April, we had 10 sailors that were training regularly.
Okay.
And then asking them to go sit in a line with 62 sailors was quite, you should see in their eyes.
Interesting. You wanted to add to it?
It was very scary at first, like the first maybe 1 or 2 races, but you start to, how to start on the start line, and it's not perfect at first, obviously, but once you get more and more practice in the bigger fleet, you start to get more comfortable with it. And then you know the little tricks, like if everyone's going pin end, which is the side of the buoy on the start line, you know that you need to go somewhere else.
Right. And how long have you all been sailing?
Well, I've been sailing since I was very young. I believe it was like 6 or so. I was sailing for fun with Raf and Coach Kelvin.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've basically grown up with them as my coaches.
Okay.
I used to sail Picos on the summer camps for fun, and then I think I started sailing Opties. Was it like a year ago? I think. Yeah.
Okay. And what's next for these two internationally? Anything coming up for them?
Well, I think Linda's looking at doing some other stuff in the summer. Okay. Ronnie, what she didn't say is that she's now jumped out of the Optimist class.
Okay.
So she's now she's now weighed out.
Weighed out. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
So she's quite tall.
Yes.
So one of the reasons why she hated light winds, and in the she actually decided she actually wanted to go home after the first day. She said, "I don't want to sail."
Oh no!
But the wind picked up on the second day, and he was like, "Oh, I love this sport."
Okay. Well, is there anyone that you look up to?
I look up to Coach Raff.
Coach Raff.
He's.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he's shocked. You surprised him.
He helps us sailing so much, and it's great to have a role model like him always with us, helping us grow as sailors.
Awesome. Coach, before we head out, because it's almost 8 o'clock here now, and before we head out, what are your views on how the athletes performed, being that it was their first time?
I think outside of the likes of Ali and Jasper, who's done a fair bit, the other 12 sailors did really well. I think seeing them come off the water every day with just that look in their eyes of just wanting to do more was sort of the icing on the cake. And I look forward to what is next.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. We need to have you guys on the show more often. I think that'd be great. Yeah. Get some others as well.
Yeah.
More kids.
Right. Yeah, and I want to really come back to talk about our schools program, because that is an amazing part of what we do as well. So.
Yeah. Yes, that is actually. I've heard about it, so that's good. Let's do that then. All right. Thanks so much, and thank you to CIASA President Stephen Broadbell for stopping by. That's it for Sports Extra for tonight. Of course, Sports Extra is about giving you the latest information on all sporting activities, sailing, swimming, you name it, right here in the Cayman Islands. So, if you would like the opportunity to be featured on our show, please feel free to email me at sportsextracayman@gmail.com. You can also check out our social media pages for, just everything. I keep my pages updated on all the different sporting activities. So feel free, Facebook, Instagram. You can also, of course, log on to Radio Cayman's YouTube page for this episode of Sports Extra. I'm Dionne Anglin. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good night and God bless.
Thank you.
Don't forget to like us on Facebook at Radio Cayman Sports Extra.
As a coach, I thoroughly agree. The athlete is just qualified for the World Championship on a bigger stage in a bar. The guys we've been training for the last 5 months now, so it's there, and they're all high in spirit that they're going to do well.
It was really infectious. I mean, for a 4-day meet with 2 sessions each day, that's pretty exhausting, and these kids were just rocking the whole weekend, so.